Welcome to Oddball History, dipshits. Hey now.
Hey now, hey now. The dream is over. Is that the words of that song?
Hey now, hey now. Yeah, I think so.
Something's over.
I don't know it that well, to be honest with you.
I don't either. Was that like a
talking.
Dawson's Creek song?
Hey now, hey. I don't know. It could have been.
It
would have fit in Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Pacey.
Yeah. Remember how in Dawson's Creek it came out and everyone was like, ooh, there's a show about a high school kid having sex with his teacher, and now that's all that just is every teacher having sex with
I don't know if it's one of those
thing, and now
I don't know if it's one of those deals where there's
yeah.
just more media coverage, so we hear more stories, but it does sound like it's happening more often.
Seems a lot.
Did you hear the last one where the lady is in trouble or investigating her, but they found out the dad knew about it for his 16-year-old, and so the dad's in jail for endangering the welfare of a child for knowing about it, and it was his son. And you're like, man, what a predicament.
Yeah. In the 90s, that just would have been a Married with Children episode.
Yeah, it would have been.
You know? We would have never thought about it.
Peg would have been upset about it.
We would have never thought about that boy's well-being.
Al would have come in, talked about all his 5 touchdowns in one game, and high-fived his son.
Yeah, we would have sat in the studio audience and hooted at it.
Hooted and hollered. That's what we would have done.
And whooped.
But so today on Oddball History, we are covering the US capture of Guam.
1898.
This is a return to the Spanish-American War. If you're familiar with episode 29, the U.S. Army beef scandal.
The beef scandal.
The beefiest scandal.
Favorite.
A fan favorite.
A personal favorite.
Yeah.
We learned all about guys being propelled around after their deaths by streams of diarrhea. That's how bad the beef was.
Posthumous. What does they say?
Streams of diarrhea.
Posthumous streams of diarrhea.
Shooting dead men's corpses around like rocketeers.
Like morbid trolling motors, but more beefy.
Yeah, just beef shits, beef diarrhea, shooting them around, launching them into things.
2 minutes in, off to a good start.
Crashing into shop fronts.
If you like this kind of beef shit talk, check out episode 29. Be sure
29. To check out episode 29. There's a lot of it. Yeah. I remember that. That's
Brought
the thing that sticks out when I remember that episode. But yeah, we're talking the U.S. capture of Guam. It was a bloodless, very quick capture of Guam.
Just a hilarious set of circumstances.
Yeah, the Spanish had held Guam for since the 1500s, but they had really forgotten about it. They hadn't updated their defenses in a long time, and they actually did not alert their people in Guam that they were at war with the United States.
Yeah, their last piece of mail was from 3 weeks prior to the war starting. And Spain really knew they weren't going to win this war.
They were like, everything's good, no war on the horizon.
Yeah. But they had a few colonies left. It was Cuba, the Philippines, and Guam, obviously. And so Guam's a sleepy little island, and Henry Glass was the military leader of the U.S. tasked with taking over this island.
Yeah, Captain Henry Glass. He was the captain of the USS Charleston. He is the great-great-grandfather of Todd Glass, the stand-up comedian. That's not true.
That'd be a great connection. Todd Glass is, I'm thinking of Tom Papa. Who does the sourdough? That's Tom Papa.
I don't know. I know Todd Glass is very funny, and he supposedly has really great dinner parties.
Ooh.
I've heard.
A kid can dream, you know?
Rory Scovel over there doing charades or whatever. That would be delightful
Rory
thought.
Scovel is one of my favorite comedians.
Oh, he's one of the best. If you don't know Rory Scovel, check out Rory Scovel.
Yeah.
Good God, he's amazing. He should be more famous than he is, but I
do his preacher voice in my head all the time.
He's the best.
It's all right, kids, gather around. You know, he kind of does this voice a lot, and it's very entertaining. I love him.
The one about the chasing the snake out of the Garden of Eden.
Get! Go on, get!
Women are dumb. Remember that one?
Yes.
It's from the special. Don't clip that.
But he's the best.
My ass.
One of my favorite Conan guests. There's Norm Macdonald, Rory Scovel, Bill Burr. When they're on, you're always like, it's going to be a good Conan.
Oh yeah, there's the Rory Scovel where he's doing It's double booked stand up with him and John Doerr, and so they just do their sets
at the same
time.
Yeah.
There's another one, You Think This Is Easy, where I think it's John Doerr plays the heckler, and then Rory Scovel's like, "Oh, you think this is easy?" And so they end up trading spots, and then eventually, like the "You Think This Is Easy" guy, it goes around to where Conan and Andy do it. So by the end, like, I think John Doerr is in Conan's spot, Rory's in Andy's spot,
Yeah.
Andy is the heckler, and Conan is the comedian
Yeah.
or something like that.
I need to check that one out.
It's incredible. I probably just completely butchered what happened.
Check it out. Rory Scovel, he's great.
Honestly, kind of spaced out in the middle of talking about it, if I'm keeping it a buck with you
But
guys.
so Henry Glass, they're getting like a few ships together.
He's a damn good leader.
Damn good leader.
He was a Civil War veteran of the Union, and just a seafaring man.
Yeah.
Just fared the sea all of his
Fared
life.
it hard, fared it good, fared it true.
That's
Seafaring
right.
man.
So yeah, June 4th, 1898, the Charleston, joined by the transports, the city of Peking, the city of Sydney, and the Australia. They leave Honolulu, bound for Guam.
And this cracked me up. Like, none of the soldiers or the sailors were experienced besides the leadership. So they literally take like brand new guys and they're like, all right, we're going to war. We're taking islands.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, what? Like, none of us know how to do sea fights or take islands. And
they're training on the way.
They're like, we'll figure it out on the way. Just get in the boat. Don't worry about it.
They were, they were like setting, we'll get more into this, but they were like setting stuff afloat to shoot at, to practice their target practice. But when they left Honolulu, I remember it said Henry Glass waited to be clear of land to open his orders. I guess that's a thing in the sea captaining community. And they get his orders are to go to Manila by way of Guam, but they say specifically, they're like, this should not take a long time.
Yeah.
By the way, it says, stop at the Spanish island of Guam. You will use such force as may be necessary to capture the port of Guam, making prisoners of the governor and other officials and any armed force that may be there. You will also destroy any fortifications on said island and any Spanish naval vessels that may be there or in the immediate vicinity. These operations at the island of Guam should be very brief and should not occupy more than 1 or 2 days. Should you find any coal at the island of Guam, you will make such use of it as you consider desirable, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, that coal, that's for you guys.
Yeah.
Great job.
You can, they're still, legal pirates. So there's R and pillage. They're just pillaging,
Just got to get that sweet coal.
That
what
sweet
are any
coal.
of us in joining up with the military for? It's for the coal.
To get all that sweet coal we can get.
I want I'm going far and wide to get the coal. Which just again, really cool boss. And they say to do this really fast, and then you go on to Manila. I do appreciate, like, it is kind of I do hate it when I'm running an errand and someone's like, oh, hey, could you stop and do this other completely different errand on your way because you're out already? That's kind of the deal here.
Yeah. That makes it funnier, too, is the fact that he has this brand new crew. He gets out to sea, and then he opens his orders and goes like, oh, we got to take an island and sack some shit.
We got to go to Guam.
And he's like, hey, fellas, do y'all know how to take an island and fight on boats? And a resounding no came back to him. Cue the Milan music. Be a Man by Danny Osmond starts playing.
Well, and then, on the way, they are getting fired up. They're so excited to fight, which makes this all the funnier. They wanted combat so bad. They would have loved it if there were real fortifications and a whole bunch of armed Spanish soldiers waiting for them. They wanted it so bad.
These were all like 19-year-olds that didn't get to participate in the Civil War. They're kind of, we've been taking over shit, and
it's 1898. They're bored out of their minds.
No internet. You can't scroll TikTok.
You can't.
What are you gonna do?
No puppies being friends with duck videos.
No, the dodo doesn't exist yet.
So they're on this boat just getting fired up.
Oh, yeah.
They're watching the movie Gladiator on DVD. They're listening to Raining Blood by Slayer. They're ready to fight.
We had like Thursdays, we'd have team meetings before football games in high school. And on one of them, they played a speech from the Gladiator.
Hell yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah. So we're doing Any Given Sunday next week.
I would watch Gladiator the nights before football games sometimes, which is hilarious to me in retrospect. I was like, I need to watch Russell Crowe behead all these guys to get in the right mindset to play TAPS 3A football against other small private schools.
Yeah. What school did you go to? Liberty Christian or something?
No, I think we played them though. I went to Lake Hill Prep in East Dallas. It's very small.
We
went to
Emmett Smith's kid for a while.
No, I think Emmett's kid went to
Greenville.
Greenhill.
There we go.
I think one of his kids went to Jesuit too. Jesuit's always good.
Regardless, we're going to war. These boys are fired up.
They're so hot for war. They're hot-blooded. Check it and see.
And they would float like objects, like old crates and shit, out into the ocean, and they'd practice shooting at them and stuff.
They're like, this will come in handy for sure.
For all the fighting we're going to do.
This won't be useless, pointless training.
But then the Charleston ends up entering the port first. They get to Guam. And they see in the harbor, there's only one ship, and it's like a Japanese trade ship.
Japanese trader. And I like to think they're like, well, can we blow it up? And they're like, no. And they're like, this war sucks.
Come on. We'll just wait 50 years. We'll blow up plenty of Japanese ships.
This war fucking blows.
Yeah.
Let us blow up the ship.
But then in the hilarious twist, they're entering a port of a country they're at war with. They're coming to take it over. So they fire warning shots. They fire 13 shots. And on land, the people are like, oh, shit, there's visitors here.
Well, and they bombarded a fort, too. They bombarded a fort, but it was empty. It was an empty fort. But yes, in any case, they took the firing as like a hello.
Yeah, they thought it was a salute.
This is how not aware that a war was going on these guys were.
They had no idea they were at war.
They're like, the old 50 cannon salute. We should go.
These must be important guests. They literally like ran it through the channels where they were so ill-equipped to fight that they didn't have ammunition to send a salute back. And so they went to like the bigger like town in the island and were like, hey,
we're going to seem rude.
We need a few shots to say hello to these guys in boats. We're going to look like idiots if we don't return. They're giving us
a really cool hello by knocking down our fort.
Yeah. It'd be rude not to. But they end up not getting it. And then they like send out a boat with the governor and like another guy to go be like, hey, sorry. Yeah. And they're very apologetic about not being able to return the salute. And then Henry Glass is just like,
you guys are prisoners of war now.
You're prisoners of war. We're at war. And they have to be, I imagine.
War, by the way?
Pardon? No, yeah, our countries are at war. You're prisoners. And like, get the fuck out of here. And like, okay, we understand the confusion. You can go back and get your stuff.
Yeah, he was like arrested them and then paroled them with the request that they meet the governor, Juan Marino. And Juan Marino isn't allowed to join to come aboard. And Spanish law forbids soldiers from boarding foreign ships. So the guy sends a letter back. It's like, hey, didn't know we were at war so much, but I would go on your ship, but I can't because of the law. You can come on the shore and see me. And they think it's a trap, but...
Of course, because they're like, they still are in like, we're at war mindset. So they're like, oh, they're going to like corner us and get the leadership off the boat. And
they're like, the old act like you're a defenseless island trick. We're
not going to fall for this again.
And so they're like, this is definitely... I love this part because the guy's like, it's definitely a trap. So William Bronner-Sruther, you go. He gets this guy. Yeah, they think it's a trap.
This is for sure going to be a setup. Willie, you're in.
William Bronner-Sruther is the guy they send out. I read differing accounts. One said 8, one said 8:30. But the point is, they went out early in the morning. He was sent ashore. And I heard they argued, Marino and Bronner-Sruther.
Well, because Marino was trying to have like a conversation about like, what are we doing? What's going on? And then the guys had to go like, no, like we're at war. Y'all are prisoners now.
Also, I just remembered he was also there. There was a point of contention because the letter that was like basically a surrender was addressed to our man Henry Glass. Mm-hmm. But Bronner-Sruther opened it, like just was like, I'm just going to read this, and he's like, no, it's for
It's for
how
Captain, uncouth of you.
It's for Captain Glass. I explain my true feelings for him in it. It's for his eyes only.
Yeah, this feels rude.
But he's like, I'll tell him what you said in the letter. Right now, I'm just worried about the military part, not your deal with Captain Henry Glass. I hate to say it. I wish y'all well.
Yep.
But I'm just worried about the potential surrender. Oh, you said it. And then they did surrender, you know, in the letter. And they're like, they're fucking, they're cursing at each other. They're like, fuck you. No, fuck you. No, fuck you. And he's like, we're taking the island. And the guy's like, fuck you. I don't even want the island. And that's how Guam was surrendered.
Yeah, it cracked me up because they're having that talk. And then they go, no, like, for real, though, you're prisoners of war now. He's like, we'll give you and your man. There's like a little shack next to the dock they were on. And so they got to go into that shack, Marino and his top guy, and like write up the terms of surrender. And so you imagine they just walk like 8 feet away in clearly a place they could still hear.
Yeah.
And just be like, are they fucking serious? Is this really good? Like, God damn it. Yeah, of course we got to fucking surrender. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they do.
If that's how they say hello, imagine what they would do. They're trying to hurt us.
But then we end up stealing a bunch of coal, so that was good. And then
I didn't even realize we got a bunch of coal.
There was a bunch of coal on the island.
That kind of changes the way I look at things.
Maybe worth it. But like Guam's still a territory.
Sure. Yeah.
And but then they found fortifications on the island that were so dilapidated that they decided to not tear them down.
Yeah, they ignored the orders to destroy their defenses because their defenses were so shitty.
Yeah, they're like, just leave it. It'd be more work to tear it down.
Honestly, they'll probably fall over on their own soon.
Yeah, just give it time. This will be okay.
Let's not go kill ourselves doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So that day, it was June 21st, 1898, I believe it was. That day that the man, that Bronner-Sruther went out there and cursed at that other guy. By 4 p.m. that day, they had all the soldiers lined up at PT, the city PT.
That's got to be stressful to be like there's like 30 dudes on the island that are soldiers that aren't really doing much soldiering.
I read a bunch of different numbers. I read one that was like there were 54 regulars and 2 lieutenants. I read one that was like it was 69 total. So, nice.
So around there, but just to like be lined up anywhere when you're like when you just lost and have surrendered. Whenever soldiers have to get in lines, historically bad things happen immediately after that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not really a soldier. You're just like hanging out on an island and you're like, oh, fuck. Like,
and you're like, I didn't even know we were at war.
Yeah, I thought I was fishing today.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Did they arrest all those people?
That would be really distressing. You're learning you're at war and then being a prisoner of war within a couple hours.
In a couple hours, yeah.
I gotta say, I would not care for that.
Rough morning. Talk about a case of the Mondays.
That would not be cool at all.
But yeah, that is the story of how the U.S. captured Guam. They didn't know we were at war. We showed up, fired a bunch of cannons at them. They thought we were saying hello.
And then, they continued on to Manila and had the summer of their lives. No, I think they fought some.
Yeah, they got to fight some.
I didn't really read any further than I had to here. But, and then Guam, Guam would be back in World War II. There would be lots more to learn about Guam, but I haven't learned it yet. That's for sure.
Maybe a future episode. I know the Japanese tried to take it or something. Well, they did.
It was a lot more. It was a lot less bloodless than this.
Guam Round 2 didn't play around.
And now I I know what you're thinking. I know what the listeners are thinking, and that is what happened to the USS Charleston.
Tell me more. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened to the USS Charleston. It ran aground off the Philippine island of Luzon and sank the next year, November of 1899. It was the first steel-hulled ship lost by the U.S. Navy.
Wow.
And then I know you're probably also wondering what happened to Captain Henry Glass.
Yes.
Of course you are.
Oh, I didn't hear how he died. Are we going to have a typical Oddball History end?
I did not read a cause of death. I just know he died in California, September 1st, 1908. He was the first steel-hulled captain lost by the U.S. Navy.
Really?
No, he wasn't steel. I don't think he had steel on his hull. That was just a joke.
So he died pleasantly of old age. There we go.
With
what a
regular
twist.
flesh-made holes.
Yeah. What a terrible way to describe a hole. Just as regular holes, just the ones God gave them.
What would our holes be? What would they be? Our sides? Write in and tell us.
I'm having trouble tracking you here.
Ship makers.
Okay, there we go. Why would they be our sides?
Ship makers, because the hole on a ship is
fuck. Okay. You know what? You
know.
said
Would it be our whole torso?
This is a classic. Jimmy didn't listen right. You were making a hole of a ship. I thought you were making a hole joke, like a hole,
like orifice.
Orifice, yeah. So I thought it was a much dirtier joke when you said only his natural flesh holes.
Yeah.
So hence me being grossed out.
Yeah.
Now we're just talking about ribs. That's way better.
We're just talking about an old man's sides.
His fleshy.
Look, it wasn't
fleshy
a great joke. Look, the steel holes thing, it didn't pan out.
That's fine.
Look, sometimes you swing. Sometimes you swing and miss.
You miss all the shots you don't take.
Sometimes you think you're doing good, and then you wake up and you're at war with the United States, and Spain, who you're representing, never even told you shit about it. You're just enjoying your eggs in the morning, and then these motherfuckers come with this crazy greeting of 50 cannons, and you're like, we'll never be able to return that.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's even worse than just not being able to be polite.
We're really tied in the joke to the story, and that's fantastic.
I tried to save it.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it.
How have you been, Jimmy? What have you been up to?
So actually, let's see, big news out there in the world. Have you seen Drake's penis?
Oh, I haven't. I saw like jokes about it where I kind of pieced it together. I was like, Drake's dick must have been...
Drake's dick is out in the world, everybody. Pretty big day in the news cycle. I saw it.
Cool.
It's a fine penis.
All right.
Sure. I think we've all been brainwashed by the amount of porn we've seen. So it's not like it's not an intimidating wiener by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a good, solid Johnson,
All right.
Proud of the boy. He wasn't lying in his songs. It's a good dick.
Does he say he has a good dick in his songs?
Yeah, like he's a Big Dick Bandit. And that was an old one. I don't listen to a ton of Drake, but...
The Big Dick Bandit.
He strikes again.
Oh, man.
I saw it out. I looked it up on Reddit.
The Big Dick Bandit was my least favorite episode of Scooby-Doo. I was like, none of this needed to be said.
I'm sure there's some cartoons drawn that depict that very vividly.
Probably so. Yeah. No, and I managed to miss Drake's penis, which I consider... it's cool to know, like, I worry, I think, as we all do, that I'm too online sometimes.
Yeah.
It's nice to miss something once in a while.
It is good.
It feels all right.
Yeah, and it's not important news.
No.
I did seek it out. I didn't accidentally stumble upon it,
It is a little important.
Because I heard, and I was like, well, I'm going to take a gander at Drake's wang,
Yeah, I'm
not above that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think about like the amount of dicks my grandpa saw versus just the sheer number I've seen with the internet and pornography.
Sure.
I wonder how he'd feel about that. Probably seen 1,000 dicks.
Yeah, it just depends, Like, what are you doing? Are you a doctor?
Doctor. That's a legit one. At work, I see him pretty regularly.
Are you the penis inspector? That man who hangs out outside the mall and inspects your penis?
Anyone else grow up with one of those? Just me? What?
The Valley View Mall, the Dillard's entrance.
Anyone know Roger, the penis inspector at the Valley View Mall? And
Yeah, it was Roger, and then Roger was replaced by Dan in 2004. I remember. And then Dan didn't stick around that long, but his impact was felt like more even than you could argue Rogers was.
Yeah.
He was kind of like Earl Campbell in that way, you know? He was a star that burned so bright it couldn't last for that long.
You can't run like that. You can't inspect wanks like
that. You can't be
at the Valley View Mall outside of Dillard's.
When you're on the top of the penis inspecting game, there's no place to go but down. That's the thing. That's the thing about mall penis inspectors. Wait, oh no! I'm being told there is no such thing as mall penis.
Scott, I hate that we find out on the air, but I think you were molested at Dillard's over the course of many years by men named Roger and Dan.
Oh no! What a horrible thing to put together live on a podcast. Oh no! Whoever knew the US capture of Guam would take us to such dark places.
We've learned so much about ourselves through our history as a country.
Repressed memories.
Let's see. I don't know. I'm high five time. Having a boy.
Oh, hell yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, having a boy.
Congratulations.
So all of the house projects I've been saying I'm going to do, I got to do them now.
Yeah.
So there's shit all over my house.
Clock's ticking.
Yep. Got to fix everything that needs fixing and get a nursery put together. So
hell yeah.
Come August, there won't be just dogs barking in the background. There'll be a little baby crying. Or pleasantly sleeping. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Could be cool, baby.
Had a bunch of weird stuff. Like my reactions were bad to both finding out she was pregnant and that it was a boy. You never know when you're... The pregnant one was me being a little selfish. Because we planned it. Like, I'm super excited. But I had worked the shift before, and it's not typical for us to have multiple fires in a shift, but we had 3 in one shift. And at like midnight, 3 and 5. So like I just did not sleep at all. And then I had a stomach bug. So this entire time fighting the fires, I was like dehydrated and shitting my brains out.
Yeah, that's not pleasant.
And so I came home and finished having the bug and just like slept all day. And then Taylor takes the test. And then I wake up like just in a stupor, like a fever dream.
Oh no.
I'm in like sweatpants and freezing and hot. And I get out of bed and I'm like drenched in sweat and just walk into the bathroom and she like shows me the test. And I go, "Why'd you do this now?"
Oh no.
That was the first thing I said. We were very excited and exchanged pleasantries afterward. But my first was just like, I need the toilet now though.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a story you'll lie about in the future. You know?
Yeah. We'll edit this part out of the podcast for posterity.
You gotta get together and iron your story out so you know your lie for in case it ever comes up.
But and then I didn't even know she had like the testing for like find out if it has like Down syndrome and all the genetic testing and stuff. And I didn't know they do the boy girl thing then. So I didn't even know the test happened. And we got like our anniversary cake. You get like the cake topper.
Yeah.
And like she had the doctor call the bakery and they put like a stripe in it that was the color. It was a blue stripe. And I didn't even know the test happened. So I thought Taylor knew and was keeping it secret because we were at her parents' house and I sliced into the cake and got the first slice and see this blue stripe in it. And my first thought was just like, I said it out loud. I was just like, our cake didn't have a blue stripe in it. Being a total idiot. It was like, I think we need to call the bakery. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I went like, oh, and it like snapped, and I went like, you bitch. That's the first thing I said was, you bitch. It was in a funny tone.
This better not be fucking raspberry.
But so yeah, everyone was excited. But I got to work on my impulse first thing to say. Why'd you do this now? And you bitch.
I think they're beautiful. I think
know,
they're beautiful sentiments.
They're beautiful little, just memories to think about for later
and lie about.
But yeah,
you'll iron it out.
And then I was
No,
working
I
on
love that.
I was working on a
You
bit.
bitch.
You bitch. But I was working on a bit about going to your like sonogram appointments, because it's like everything's healthy, it's all going good, and it's like getting pulled over by a cop, where 30 seconds before you get pulled over, everything's good, everything's healthy, everything's going, and then the second you're in the doctor's office, you're like, oh shit, are we gonna get bad news today? Like, it doesn't enter your mind until you're like getting tests done.
Yeah.
And it's like getting pulled over by a cop where you're like, oh fuck, I'm getting pulled over. And then you realize like, oh yeah, I don't do drugs. Like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna use some white privilege and be a dickhead.
Yeah.
I'll work out the bit.
I know that feeling.
But I like the
I'm always scared.
I know still
that,
to this
I know
day.
the feeling.
Yeah, or like
I'm
taking we had a drug test. I might do a drug test instead of getting pulled over, where it's like we got drug tested at work, and you always do it, and you're still just like,
yeah.
even though I haven't done drugs in forever, I'm just like, oh boy, what's going to happen? It's like, who knows?
That's right. What if someone drugged you for the express purpose of making you fail that test?
That's true. But the premise
Could
is
happen.
You don't think of examples of when you don't think the idea of a bad thing happening doesn't enter your mind until you're like Schrodinger's cat, you know?
Yeah.
Like, until you're investigating it and you're like, oh, even though you know nothing bad happened, until you start doing the test, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, you still haven't opened the box.
Clearly have to work on that one. that one's in workshop mode, okay? What's going on with you?
Well, the big news for me this week was that the Hamburglar is back.
Thank God.
No, I just saw that and wrote it down. I don't know. I wrote it down like really late last night, and I don't know why. Like, I was half asleep, you know? I wrote
The Hamburglar's
I wrote in
back.
my notes, the Hamburglar
I hope
is back.
the Hamburglar isn't back. You were just having a dream about the Hamburglar.
Oh, I'm afraid to say he is back.
He is back good.
He's so back. He's
Hell yeah.
stealing. He's stealing burgers. He's up to his old tricks. He's saying "robble, robble."
They saw the Grimace success and decided to capitalize again. They're bringing all the characters back.
That's right. We went and saw Dr. No last night, the old Bond movie at the Angelica.
Fuck yeah.
Which I had never seen.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I love, my favorite part probably was at the end. Bond is like kicking the shit out of a bunch of Dr. No's henchmen in his lair. He's beating them all up to get to Honey, the Bond girl in this one. And he's just kicking the shit out of henchman after henchman, and then he runs into this room, and it's at the top of this long industrial like stair, and there's one guy like between him and Honey. He could clearly just walk by this guy and it would be no thing, but instead he punches him in the face and throws him off the top of these stairs.
Good.
Probably the guy's dead for no good, but and then he's reunited with Honey. But I loved that. It was so unnecessary. It was just that they got him turned on and he couldn't turn it back off again.
Yeah.
He got into his throwing guys off of stuff.
I'm gonna throw a guy off a thing. I haven't done it in a while.
They flipped that
Trigger
switch.
fingers easy.
They flipped that switch, and then Connery was just throwing dudes off things.
Just slapping chicks
Couldn't
and throwing
turn
dudes.
it off. Kind of surprised he didn't throw Honey off something. The way he was going.
Still one of the all-time funniest interviews was it Barbara Walters interviewing?
Oh yeah, the
Sean
infamous.
O'Connor.
Yeah,
And he
Sean
was like,
Connery, and he's
Sean-
like, I haven't changed that opinion.
he was like, is it okay to ever slap a woman? And he was like, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Because they never let you have. They always want the last word.
They always want the last word. And she's like, I'm giving you a chance to change your statement on this on the public record. And he's like, I haven't changed my opinion, Barbara.
If he had any comedic timing, you watch the video and you're like, is he about to hit Barbara Walters? That's the conclusion to this.
That seems like he might. Yeah, it is that's a rough video to watch in 2020.
It didn't age well.
Yeah.
Adam Carolla always talks about it with there was some NFL Films guy. Was it Too Tall Jones? Where he had the famous, he'd wrap his hands in cast and smack the helmet as his starting move and then play. And they did an NFL Films, and in the interview, he was like, Man, it's a great trick. Like if you ever just smack a man on the side of his head or a woman, it always surprises him. But he put that part in there and they didn't edit it out or anything.
I think Too Tall did that for inclusivity.
Yeah, he was being generous. He was like, I imagine a day one time when women will be playing the game of professional football.
That's right.
I'd hit them too. I wouldn't treat them any different. He was being a hero, Ed Too Tall Jones.
Too Tall Jones is a hero. That's a fact, yeah.
I've seen you've been, what have you been filming lately? Are you doing FTC stuff?
Yeah, I was doing an FTC thing that'll come out here sometime at Deep Ellum Brewing.
What was it?
It was fun. It was like
a sketch?
It was like they were like interview questions and like ranking like Dallas neighborhoods, Texas, drinking towns, sports teams, shit.
Nice. Yeah, FTC is for the city. It's a new group or relatively new. It's like Paulos. I don't know the other fellow, the skater guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a few people. They're the main two, though, Paulos Ferro and, the other guy's name escapes me right now. But
they do a lot of cool stuff. They do cool shows, put out some content online. So for the city, check them out. Local DFW comedy and events thing should be cool. Okay, I had one more bit I want to run past you.
All right.
This is a real one where I have a brother with autism, and he doesn't communication is often a weird thing with him, but he texts like he's talking, like he doesn't differentiate, like texting has different rules to it than like speaking with someone.
Yeah.
And so the other day he texted me, and he contacted me. He initiated this conversation, and he just went, made shepherd's pie tonight. It was really good. Like he texts like an old lady uses Facebook, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't think I needed to hear that, but he's reaching out. We're talking, you know? He just wants a thumbs up or something.
I think you did need to hear it.
Yeah, I did. He makes good shepherd's pie. But I respond and go, wow, it looks really good, buddy. Need to make that next time I come over. And he hits me with, will do, period, see ya. Not incredibly rude, but he's definitely going, that's enough now. Just wanted to say hi. It's him going, thinking about you. That's enough now.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
And it's my brother. I know the guy. I know this will bug him. So I'm like, I'm going to keep saying stuff. Because he doesn't like, you can just not respond to a text. And if you're done with you can, it's not like rude to just be like, this is the end. You know, both parties agree. Nobody gets worked up. Mm-hmm. But I know he like has to say something because he won't just leave one. He has to have the last word. Yeah. And so I respond and I go, you can make it with turkey next time to make it healthier. And then he responds with, okay, period, bye. And I'm like, all right, I'm in his head now. He is very done with this conversation. And so then I respond to okay, bye with just an idea, exclamation point. Let him know I'm excited about it, you know? And he hits me. This is my favorite part of it. He goes, so anyway, I'm going to let you go now. Which, saying that in text form, that's like a thing you say out loud. He just goes, so anyway, I'm going to let you go now. Like, get the fuck off your phone. But I let him off the hook after that. But nice. I kind of want to take that text exchange and do a bit about it.
Nice. Yeah.
I like it.
I see both of your points.
Yeah.
I see both of your sides.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be a good one. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
The first one.
I'm
going to take that one back to the whiteboard, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, a lot of
trial and
throwing
error.
Spaghetti at walls a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Remember my steel-holed captain joke? I mean, good God.
That was me. I think if I had understood that you meant whole as in a ship and not whole as in a hole.
No, I think I didn't set it up well enough. You know?
I'm defending it.
Frankly. I've been watching a lot of that show Love Island. Have you ever seen Love Island?
I've seen. I get it. I haven't seen it, but I've seen one of the many shows like it.
Fun. Yeah, if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah,
but it's very fun. It's I love it because it's like it's filmed at this Hawaiian island that's like the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life, and this is what they use it for. Like the most dog shit fucking
nonsense reality TV
in the world. It's fucking crazy. It's like watching a a cockfight in the Sistine Chapel. You know, it's like watching two bums fight over a day-old chicken fried steak on the French Riviera. You know, it's like, it doesn't go. It does. The setting doesn't go with what. I'm sorry, I said bums too. I feel like that's like a very 50s term.
It's like two unhoused people vigorously giving each other anal pleasure in front of the Mona Lisa.
What? Let's say did you get it?
Fuck. Almost.
We
would have ended the podcast. We would have been done.
Could have been my Miyagi moment there. But no. But I love the idea that someone saw this goddamn paradise on Earth and was like, you know what this would be great for is as a backdrop.
Hot people arguing.
For a bunch of hot singles to come on and hurt each other's feelings. Make out and hurt each other's feelings. Gonna put up signs everywhere that say close before bros and slay all day. And
slay all day. That one cracks me up. Have you heard serve cunt?
Oh, sure.
What an aggressive little saying, you know?
If you were on Twitter the day that first started going, I mean, it was all like nobody said anything else. It was fucking crazy. It was one of those days.
That was one of those ones that takes you like a day to adjust. I'm just like, serve cunt. Like, Jesus Christ. What are you talking about? Like, oh, I get it. Okay.
I know when I went to Ireland and came back, I was saying the cunt word way more than
it's a great word.
Because they influenced me. Because the Irish say it all the time, but with the accents, it makes it okay. With my accent, it does. There's no charm in it like there is with the.
It's if the T's too hard, you can't.
Cunt.
Cunt. You cunt.
An Irish lady, I gave her a cigarette while there, and she put her hand on my face, and she said, "Oh, you're a lovely cunt," and it was like the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me.
That's adorable.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, in America, that's just a wildly inappropriate thing to say to somebody.
In America, I'm like, oh my God.
What a lovely cunt you have. That is great.
Oh my God, I'm so hurt. How could you say that to me? I gave you a cigarette.
But you got any shows coming up?
It's a whole different thing. Oh, yeah. Also, I do. Wait, I do. I have next Thursday, February 15th, I'm at Hyenas Fort Worth for a 325 show.
Nice, love those.
And then Sunday, February 18th, I'm at Fort Brewery in Fort Worth. Those shows are super fun. I've did them once before. Yeah, and then Thursday, February 22nd, Hyenas Dallas for a 325.
Ready to go. Let's see. I got a bunch of fun shows this month. This will be after, but I want to say it out loud because I'm excited for it. Featuring for Chris Porter this weekend in Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, he's so funny, dude.
Love Chris Porter.
He's so good.
I think he's
Shout
one of those.
Out Chris Porter.
He's one of those guys. He's been a nationally touring headliner for a fucking decade,
and he has like crazy amounts of albums.
Yeah, he has 7.
He's done crazy. So much material.
And he's so goddamn funny, and he's so great. He should be more famous than he is.
Yeah.
He still sells. He's doing fine, but he's just such a great comedian and such a good guy. I'm always excited when I get to work with him. And then doing a Valentine's Day show at with Mana, the Claws Out shows.
Oh yeah.
In Grapevine, Texas, at Hop and Sting Brewery.
Oh yeah, Valentine's I'll be at Backdoor Comedy Club,
nice.
Richardson.
But that'll be fun, doing it with like Cheyenne and Katie and
Mana, that'll be really fun.
That'll be a fun show.
Oh yeah.
And then the February 28th, the last day of February, or wait, it's a leap year. Second to last day of February, I'll be doing the Cowabunga comedy show up in Plano at the Fillmore Pub.
Hell yeah.
Those are always awesome. It's like Plano has the House of Comedy, but it's like a local independent run show. Vinny and Niaz are great dudes, run a good little program.
Yeah, it's the best a bar show can be. It's like truly like what bar shows aspire to be. They have like a really good base of people who are really into the comedy there. It's a good scene.
I'm excited for it.
Love those Plano shows.
But yeah, that's the end of Oddball History today.
Yep. Shout out Captain Henry Glass.
Henry Glass.
Not steel hold.
His fleshy holes.
Regular hold. Just was trying to make a joke about the ship.
Fleshy holes.
Didn't work out.
It's a hard word to say. Hard word to differentiate.
Yeah, holes versus holes.
Yeah. But we live and we learn.
If you want to pay the troll toll, you got
Oh,
no,
and,
if you want to. No, if
next
you want to get
episode,
in,
we're bringing on a guest host. If you want to use,
I can't believe I fucked that up too. Boy,
it's okay. I'm sorry, always, Sonny.
I'm gonna sit in the car in silence for a few minutes after this one.
Vinny Corrales is coming on next time. He's going to teach us. We're going to do like a guest host every now and then. That'll something they're passionate about. They're going to kind of teach us about a weird moment in history. So next episode, excited to have Vinny Corrales on.
Vinny
and the Jets.
I don't know what that voice was.
All right, see you guys.
Goodbye.